So radio check? Yeah?
It's Friday then.
Yeah.
Radio. I'm good. Are y'all good?
Yeah. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm feeling smooth. Feeling
Okay.
good. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Drag Reduction Sisters podcast. I'm here with Raychel, Val, Toff, and me, Danni. And today we're going to be talking about the Bahrain GP and the Jeddah GP, which have both been very eventful. Let's definitely say that.
Did you see, that ad, I don't know if it was on the other channels on Sky for the Jeddah Grand Prix, and had the Mario Kart sounds in it. I was sorry, what? For the little lights going out, I swear it had the Mario Kart sounds. The ones in F1, it has that kind of distinctive sound. I swear that was the Mario Kart one. I need to watch the ad and compare
the ad itself is embarrassing, though. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad. It's like a weird sort of... It's like a knockoff Grand Prix.
Speaking of bad ads, Workday, why did they change their man or their commentator?
And you just have to accelerate. Do it!
Oh, no, it actually makes me cringe. Every time it comes on.
Speed and agility, of course. Go away! Who are you? Bring back the Workday woman.
It's Workday, a system for finance, HR, and planning. I'm like,
all I want is the Workday. Right. Start a petition. Bring back the Workday lady.
Yeah.
Bring her back. I'm going to start a petition.
Change.org, come on.
All I want to do when I put on the Formula One is I want to hear the lovely dulcet tones of the Workday lady go, Workday, a system for HR and planning. Where are you?
Take over her, please.
Bring her back. I don't like these two men.
They even had a Workday ad on that wasn't the F1 one on during the ad break. And I was like, what is this? Even this is awful. I need to go up to their their PR or whatever, their department, and just be like, "What are you doing, lads? This ad."
Is that the one? Is that the one where there's the guy and he's on Zoom and
yeah, and he's like, "Workday, Workday,
You're on mute."
Mm-hmm.
So American as well, which is fine. But bear in mind, this is Sky in the UK. Why are we showing American adverts?
I don't know. I don't even have commercials on.
Yeah, I was just realizing,
so I really don't.
Rach has no idea what we're talking about right now. For context,
it's probably a good thing.
For context, in the UK, and this is for our American listeners as well. In the UK, Ireland. When you watch Formula One on Sky, there's a special breed of adverts, and there's two different types. Well, no, there's three types of adverts that show up. Number one is adverts for the sponsors of F1. So you've got Cognizant, and you've got CrowdStrike, and the ones that sponsor the cars, right? There'll be adverts for them. Then number two is annoying adverts for Sky Glass, which don't get me started because no one wants to buy Sky Glass. Okay,
and that annoying little kid in the ad.
Sky. Sky, if you're listening to this, Sky, hello, and I know you're listening to this because you are my internet provider.
Same.
Sky, no one wants your glass. No one wants that.
Sky. No one cares about the red button either.
No one wants your TV. No one. We don't need it. No one wants it. No one wants Sky Glass. Okay, now that that's done. So you get an advert for Sky Glass. And then number three, the third type of advert that you get is for erectile dysfunction.
I was going to say.
Or hair loss.
And it's always is it a euphemism? For
yeah.
All these rockets not taken off properly and all this, and balloons deflating and all this stuff.
It's so embarrassing. I'm sitting there watching it with my dad.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I can say they have that on
get it up. I don't know why. Why is it? It's a target audience for Formula One, balding men who can't get it up.
Because their teams keep losing. And they're so stressed.
The McLaren fans are just so sad at the moment.
But then, even then, on Sky, they have their own intro for whenever F1 is on.
With the robots.
And this year's is I don't know what they've done. They've done like some Avengers, like robots, Transformers type thing, but it's just so cringy. Because I just think about like what were the directors saying to the drivers when they were making that? Like, right, George, I want you to stand there and make it look like a robot is making your arm. And like, George, he takes that thing too seriously. He was properly invested. Do you know what I mean?
George is he's already an android. Like, you don't need to coach him on that. You just power him off and he'll just stand there.
Can we give George Russell an Oscar for his performance in the Sky opening? Because they told him, George, you need to play a robot and look at your arm like it's being built. And somehow he knew exactly what to do.
But then they have just like Alonso like standing so stiff and like turning around like he's being built, and it's just so cringy.
I like when Lando just looks up, and they've obviously gone, Lando, you're a robot, look up. And he's like...
I want to see that. And like on Netflix, Drive to Survive, they had like the whole Aldi catalogue, like photo shoot with Gunther and Mick. I want to find the scenes of the Sky Sports F1 intro this year on Netflix, just to see the drivers standing there looking really awkward on like a green screen.
And then like there's a bit where Lewis like cracks his neck. Like, it's so ridiculous. But it's obviously because they don't have any footage of the new cars, which is why the second half is all in CGI, like fake. But like it's just that first bit where they're like robot android, like what?
Cringy. Like I wasn't expecting it at all.
I kind of love it though. Like I kind of love it.
It's iconic for the wrong reasons.
Good. Like I enjoy it. Like whenever it comes on, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch the drivers being built.
And you have like the orchestra music in the background as well, and all the car sounds and stuff.
And then they have like the commentary over the top.
No, sorry, can I just point out something? And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this yet, but by the new F1 intro, like the dun dun dun, like the classic F1 theme, straight after, and it goes into like the welcome to the whatever GP we are here and blah blah. The music is like a slightly like higher than the intro, and it annoys me because it used to like fuse and like mesh perfectly.
Yes,
the old intro, but now it's like and I'm like, oh, it doesn't sound right. Like,
just fix it. Just fix it.
Just like bring it up like a key. I don't know anything about music, a key higher or a tone higher or whatever. I don't know.
So, seeing as we are the drag reduction sisters, we're gonna try to break down everything into our DRS zone. So we've got D, which is going to stand for drama, R, which is going to stand for the results, and S is going to be something that starts with S every week. It's definitely going to change depending on what happens. So let's start with our dramas for Bahrain.
Bahrain, okay. Because as soon as we get to Jeddah, there's a lot of drama, but Bahrain.
One word. Well, actually two. Red Bull. What was going on there?
Yeah, Red Bull, massive drama there.
Yeah. Pierre blown up, basically, at the Grosjean wall as well, which was really scary. That
was really scary.
Of all the places for a car to go on fire. But yeah, like, I don't know what happened with Red Bull that week. They just, I don't know.
So, difficult couple of weeks if you're a McLaren fan.
Okay. Ugh. We're just diving right in.
I think it's best to just rip the plaster off and get straight into
it.
Violence.
I think we've just got to address the elephant in the room, and that elephant is papaya orange.
It's a very large elephant, and it's very orange. Papaya. It's very
with
papaya.
A little bit of blue.
Yeah. And some Google Chrome accents.
Yeah, for some reason the elephant's like shoes are just rainbow coloured.
I love it. It's a great elephant. Love being on this elephant's team.
I will say though, it's just been we've just finished watching the Jeddah Grand Prix, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and I'm quite, I don't want to say happy. Happy's not the right word. I'm content with how McLaren did in that, excluding what happened to Danny Rick. They both were on their way to getting a points finish, which is a lot better than they did in Bahrain. Rest in peace. But I tell you what other team is struggling at the moment, Aston Martin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which, obviously they've had Hülkenberg in instead of Sebastian Vettel, which was already hard enough as it was. But yeah, it looks like Well, it does seem to be an issue with the Mercedes engine.
Yeah.
Because you also got to look at the Williamses, and they're not doing so hot either.
No.
So
I had high hopes for Williams as well. They looked pretty decent in testing.
I want them to do well because I love both Nikki and Alex so much, but that car is not serving them.
No.
And it's a massive shame because Alex did so well in quali last week in Bahrain. And I had such high hopes. I was like, oh, he's got into Q2, he was doing pretty well. And then they just dropped down to the bottom. And then this week, I think we had 2 DNFs, I think.
Yeah, DNF.
Yeah, so
They're
many
awesome.
DNFs this week. So many.
Oh,
Well,
stop.
there seems to be a lot of issues with these cars in both races so far. I mean, in Bahrain, we had the Red Bulls. They had some serious issues. This week, we had like 4 cars decide not to work on the same lap.
Yeah.
All the problems are just coming out of nowhere at the exact same time. It's something. It's not, I don't know, it's more than concerning. It's like a weird fluke.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Now you've mentioned it, all of these issues have happened at the same time. So when the Red Bulls in Bahrain, both of the Red Bulls stopped working within I think it was within like 2 or 3 laps. And this week we had, what was it? Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, and Alonso.
Fernando
Alonso. All within 1 lap, stopped working.
No, and Yuki too. That it just literally stopped.
Yeah, Yuki didn't even start.
It's...
Yuki didn't even start. Oh, poor Yuki. But it's crazy. At least Pierre managed to finish this race because he certainly did last.
Good job, Pierre. Small victories.
Small victories where we can get it.
No, I think these like car failures and all have to do with the new fuel, because I can't remember who was saying it, whether it was Red Bull or AlphaTauri, but apparently they're using like this new eco fuel in the cars this year, and they were saying like around the way Pierre's car went on fire in Bahrain, it might be linked because like the fuel like heats up faster, and so that's why I think maybe the cars are all kind of coming out at the same time, is because the fuel in the cars kind of just and are gone.
Do we know who Ferrari sold their soul to? Because they haven't had any issues. I'm trying to think now. I think every team has had an issue either in the race or in testing. Ferrari are chill.
Yeah.
Ferrari are just chill, man.
What is Ferrari doing?
What have they done? Who have they sold their soul to? I don't understand.
And they even said that they were racing in Bahrain with a medium engine, didn't they?
I think
Did they? That was their medium.
Yeah, I think so.
Ferrari,
like a conservative engine.
Jeez Louise.
Ferrari, I'm saying it right now, and I was listening back to one of the podcasts previously. I think it was Maisie. Was it Maisie? No, it was someone said that it was Constructors Champions this year. I would not be surprised Ferrari Constructors Champions.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not surprised at all.
They are, in terms of their car, miles ahead of everyone else. And I know that Max won today. Max did win today. But it's just, if you look at the fact they've had no problems, they're just chill.
If you had given the race like 2 or 3 more laps, I don't think it would have been Max who won it.
It was close.
Yeah.
No, it was
I think Charles would have taken it back.
Yeah, Bottas and Esteban, remember last year? Literally on the line.
Yeah.
That almost happened with Lando today, to be fair.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat.
I'm so sad. I wish he had taken it back.
I love Esteban, but
I do too.
I think McLaren need it for their morale.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I think this shows that there's potential there with the McLaren, and I think that it will hopefully give them a boost. And the same with, I know that Daniel Ricciardo didn't finish, but he would have been, because he was just behind Lando. So I imagine it probably would have been around the same point, so maybe 8th or 9th. So they both would have hopefully been within the points if this car hadn't decided to give up the ghost.
Yeah, they need, whatever is wrong with that car, they need to fix it. They need to fix it quickly.
Insane. And the same with the Aston Martin, because they are both so slow.
Yes.
They have no speed.
Very slow.
I can't work out what it is, because apparently the McLaren brake issue has been fixed now. The brake issue they had in testing has been completely fixed, so it is purely something to do with that engine, and there's just no speed in it.
Yeah.
It's Mercedes' fault.
That's so weird though, because didn't both Danni and Lando say, like, in interviews after what it was at testing, that they were happy with the McLaren engine, the Mercedes engine?
I think this is the thing, right? Because they looked like they were doing really well at Barcelona. When they did the testing in Spain, they were up there at the top. And I've heard people say, oh, you know, they were going 100% and every other team was going 50% or whatever. But surely they would have known that. I don't know. They looked confident. You know, Lando is very much like, he always tells the truth. Like, he's not really someone who holds back. And he seemed very confident in the car, even like days before the Bahrain Grand Prix. And then it was like Bahrain happened, and suddenly they were like, oh, actually, we don't have a good car. It was like a shock to them.
Yeah.
We've had drama even before the season began.
Yeah.
The whole Nikita Mazepin and then Kevin Magnussen coming back in. And then Nico Hulkenberg coming in for Seb.
And Daniel Ricciardo getting COVID and giving it to Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm most surprised about? It was only Seb that got COVID.
Yeah.
Max was basically breathing his air directly. I'm sad about it. I'm very sad about it. But at the same time, am I sad? Because would I want to see Sebastian Vettel in a low position? Probably not.
Well,
I don't think Seb
pushed me over the edge
when Mick's crash happened either.
I honestly, I know. I was so glad that Seb was not there, because they would have put the camera on Seb and I would have lost it.
I was already upset enough when they put the camera on Esteban.
Yes.
When Mick crashed in qualifying.
Yes.
In Jeddah. Yeah, that was insane, by the way. If we're talking about drama, I know we were just talking about Bahrain. But if we're talking about drama, I think we need to talk about Mick. But the thing that shocks me the most, just because I want to start, if we're going to talk about this, I want to start with the positives, is how fine he is.
Yes.
He was just there in the garage. He was fine. Not a scratch.
Yeah. Him saying that he's not sore at all. Like, what?
That was an insane. Do we know? I'm assuming we don't yet, but I would like to find out how many G's that crash was, because it was insane.
I remember them saying something around 70. Now I don't know if they're just talking about that crash or like a crash in general, but I heard someone saying something around 70.
It was 35.
Maybe they said like ×2 or something.
I mean, he did crash twice, to be fair. He crashed into one more than another.
Yeah. There you go. I just do maths, you know?
That's how it works, you see. That's how they add up the G's.
Yeah, exactly. You know, trying to crash.
But yeah, I did want to preface everything by saying he is so fine. It's actually kind of unbelievable how okay he is. But that crash was insane. It was insane. When I saw that, because they didn't show the whole thing straight away. They just showed like the end part of it and the car that was absolutely smashed to pieces. And then they cut away and they did that thing where they don't show anything, and that's when you get scared.
Yeah, because you're like, is it bad? Like, how bad is it? Like there's nothing to look at to kind of confirm or anything. Like,
they just showed that really zoomed out shot where you could barely see anything, and all you could see was like the ambulance. And I just remember thinking, oh, like, this is bad. This is really bad. But he's fine. Like, I cannot believe how fine. I think if the car was somehow magically okay, he would have driven today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he said he would. Yeah. When they asked him in that interview, they were like, would you drive today? He's like, oh, yeah. It boggles my little tiny mind that he would get in a car so soon after it smashing into a wall like that.
But that's what's in them, isn't it? That's what makes them, like, race. They just have that instinct to, like, I just want to go and go fast or whatever. Yeah.
But I think that maybe goes to show how good these cars are.
I was going to say, although why did the Haas, like, break into again? Like, what is it? What Haas
I think that's a safety measure. I'm sure someone said it's something to do with the back is designed to break off to take the weight of the crash. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know.
One of the commentators yesterday said that, like, if it hadn't have broken apart like that, you should be more concerned than if it did, because if it doesn't break apart, that means the drivers are taking those G's instead of the car.
That makes a lot more sense.
Well, it's like crumple zones. Obviously, this is me talking as my literal job in road safety, but the more demolished a car looks, the safer it is for the person inside, because a car it's those protective areas that have taken the brunt of the force. Yeah. If the car is intact, then you should be more worried, because that means that the driver has taken that. But if the car has taken that force, then you know that force has gone into the components of the car and not into the driver.
That makes a lot more sense. But also, can I just point out the fact that you crashed into a concrete wall? Like, aren't the walls and barriers and tracks not supposed to have some sort of like padding on them, like foam or like tires or something? Why is there like a concrete wall at a high-speed corner? Like, that is not safe in the slightest. Like,
as if that track isn't dangerous enough. As if the track isn't dangerous enough. Let's put a concrete wall straight after a bloody corner.
Like, not even, you know, like the little boards they have, like the advertisements on them, and like they're made out of foam or whatever. Not even one of those. No, just a full-on wall. Like,
and that's only one reason why they should not be racing there. To be fair,
yeah,
there's a lot more. But no, it is. I don't understand how that got approved because it is so lethal. And like, even it sounds dumb. Even the sign coming off in practice. Why is the sign coming off a wall? Like,
that was so funny.
Even the little things like signs or whatever, like it just goes to show how kind of rushed the track was.
It was very you know the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they like make a joke and then the opening titles come up. It was like that with Danny Rick being like, oh, be careful because that sign's gonna fall off, and then it'd be like the opening credits like Lando crashes into the sign. Like, it was like you couldn't make this stuff up. It was like, watch out, someone might crash into that sign. Next lap, Lando Norris crashes into the sign. Which, to be fair, it was fine. It was just a lot of polystyrene everywhere, but it just made me laugh.
I feel like it's such a Lando thing to crash into a sign like that. Like, like his teammate Warren's like, oh, hey, there's a loose sign. Lando immediately crashes into it. Like, that feels like so on brand for him.
I want to defend him. The sign fell down. It wasn't his fault. But, like, because I think at first they were like, oh, Lando's knocked the sign off. He didn't. The sign had fallen off already. Jeddah did its own mess up. But I think anyone coming past that corner would have hit it. But it did make me laugh.
And did you see the little, like, go-kart kind of, like, BMX bikes, or not BMX bikes, what are they, quad bike things they had?
Oh, I love them.
Driver of the day. Like, driver of the day, the go-karts. The quad bikes.
Those little ATVs, they're
the little cleaning quad bikes. They are drivers of the day for me. They were my highlight. That was my race highlight. It wasn't even the race, it was in the practice, but
it was in the practice, yeah.
Still my race highlight was the three little buddies.
I was gonna say something really random, sorry, that just came up. Is it just me, or has the safety car gotten slower? Or is the cars just gotten faster? Like, in both Bahrain and Jeddah, I swear Charles almost crashed into that safety car, like, several times. But I swear these cars have gotten... I don't know, it's like, cause I don't know if the new cars in general are actually slower, because, like, the shape or whatever. I don't know, I'm not into engineering or anything. Or has the safety car itself just gotten slower? I don't know, but like...
Well, I think the cars this year are technically slower than the cars were last year. So I don't think that's the case. But what I will say, speaking of the safety cars, because I pointed this out today, I feel like they've been a lot more hesitant, and this is in the F2 as well, I noticed this. They've been a lot more hesitant this year to do red flags.
Yeah.
Especially in Jeddah. Yeah. I didn't think, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not an expert, I didn't think they were allowed to do the safety car and have cars out driving on track when the crane was out on track collecting the cars, obviously because of what happened to Jules Bianchi. I was really quite surprised by that when they were all driving, especially, I don't know if you guys watched the F2 race. I think it was not today's one, but Saturday's sprint race. There were two cars that crashed into each other and they were both on the track. And when the cranes came in to collect them both, the safety car was just leading the trail of cars just around them while the marshals were just standing there and the cranes were just there. And I was thinking, surely that's a red flag, but apparently not. And I mean, like, there are arguments for and against doing stuff like that. It keeps the flow of the race and whatever, but ultimately safety is a concern. And I always thought, because of what's happened in the past with experiences like that, that cars shouldn't be racing when there's literally a giant metal crane in the middle of the track. I don't know. I just thought it was odd that we didn't get a red flag today.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would think that we would get at least one.
I thought
a lot of safety cars, but no red flags.
When Latifi crashed, that there might have been a red flag. Because he was kind of in the middle of the road as well. Like, it wasn't like he was at a corner or something. Like, he was literally right there in the middle of the track. But no.
Well, that's what I mean. You could see the safety car going around the crane, like, leading these people around this crane. Like, I was like, I'm sure they weren't... is that... I mean, obviously it's allowed. They wouldn't do it otherwise. But I was just very surprised by that.
Maybe it's the new FIA people that are kind of hesitant to kind of do anything drastic after, like, all the stuff last year. They're kind of a bit on edge and they're kind of not hesitant, but like they're afraid of the backlash from like the public after what happened last year in terms of safety cars.
I will say so far, I'm happy with how race control has been so far. I think, like, in terms of the penalties that have been handed out, in terms of F1, F2 is a different. For anyone who saw the race yesterday in F2, like, I have my own opinions on that and the Dennis Hauger situation. For those who don't know, I will briefly describe it. There was a safety car, and it was announced safety cars go through the pit lane, so everyone's going to be led through the pit lane. And then literally just before they got to the pit lane, Dennis Hauger, who was in the lead, started going into the pit lane, and then they went, pit lane entry closed, we're not going through the pit lane. He kept going, and everyone else didn't, and then he ended up right at the back because no one else went in the pit lane, and then he got a 5-second grid penalty for it. Not grid penalty, 5-second penalty for going through the pit lane, even though he was told to go through the pit lane. And they were basically saying, well, the pit lane entry was closed. Like, yeah, but you told him to go. It's insane. So that's that I was angry about. I was very angry about that.
Sure, even today, I think, who was it? Joe. I don't know if he got a penalty, but I can't remember what for. I don't know if his pit stop was just really slow or did he serve it in the pits. But then I remember him getting given another penalty.
It's because he didn't serve that fight. Apparently it wasn't 5 seconds, whatever he did.
Yeah, because I was confused. I was like, I seen him going to pits during, I think, one of the safety cars, and I was like, why are they giving him another penalty? Like, what does he do now? I don't know. To be fair, half the races just become a blur to me because like so much is going on. Like
so much happened. He still finished. Like, where did he finish? Let's have a look. I've got the results open here. He still finished 11th. Actually, to be fair, out of 13 that actually finished.
Yeah, but even still, for a rookie, like, to be finishing up that high, like, fair play.
Yeah.
Sure, he got points in his debut, did he not?
He did.
He did,
I think, which is amazing for,
Yeah, like, fair play. Well done, Joe.
I was, as well, because when I was listening back to the podcast, we were kind of not critical. Well, I mean, I did say I think that Oscar Piastri should have got that seat, and I still stand by that. But I think we were sort of on the fence about how we felt about him because we didn't really know
anything about him.
But I think he's proved that he is a decent driver, and for a rookie, you've got to remember he is a rookie. I think he's doing pretty well. So good on you, Joe.
Yeah. No, I think actually just going back to the predictions, I think we are on the ball for a few of ours already in terms of like how things have been going. Especially with Ferrari, we hit the nail on the head exactly with that one. But yeah, no, Joe, I'm definitely like, not that it was like surprised, but like, I'm happy to see him doing well because I was afraid that would kind of be maybe another whole of like Nikita situation where it's kind of like he got past the amount of corners Nikita did in Bahrain, so instantly that was like a green flag, you know what I mean? No, like he hasn't actually done anything kind of bad, like invert commas, whatever. Yeah, like he hasn't spun out or anything. Like he's actually been doing decent.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, good on Joe.
I tell you one thing, I don't think any of us predicted: Mercedes being as awful as they are.
God,
yeah.
Just to remind everyone, Lewis Hamilton out in Q1.
That was insane. That was a big surprise.
Like Lance Stroll in an Aston Martin knocked him out into Q1, like.
And overtook him a couple of times in this race as well. There was like a battle going on at one point between Hamilton and Stroll, which I never expected.
That's the new rivalry for Netflix. What?
Oh my god.
Like, write that down.
Right.
I don't know how to feel about it personally because I think Mercedes have a long way to go, and that's obvious. But the Lewis Hamilton thing from this weekend, he was so underperforming. And I know that the pit stop kind of screwed him over. Yeah. I know that he wasn't able to pit under the safety car, and that screwed him over a little bit, and that's why he finished 10th. But from the start of the weekend, like I said, going out in Q1, and now he's finishing 10th when George Russell finished 5th. What has happened to Lewis Hamilton?
It's not like, I don't want to be like a Christian Horner, like, he's a 7-time world champion, he should know what he's doing, but like, it's not like he's a rookie or anything. That's kind of guy still getting used to F1 or whatever, like, cutting a bit of slack. It's like he's had enough years of experience now to know how to drive a car and like has gone through several changes with his car already. I don't know, it's suspicious. Again, it's probably that new Mercedes engine that's just messing up like that.
Or they're preparing us for his retirement.
He's just taking it easy this year. He's had enough.
Yeah, he's like, no.
There's no doubt that Lewis Hamilton is an incredible driver, and that's why this is even more shocking, because even if the car is awful, which, to be fair, it is, there's no reason he should be 5 places below George Russell. It's the same car. They're in the same car.
Also, Lewis has more experience being in a better car than George does, and yet George is still doing, I guess, better than I expect, and not better than I expected him to. I expected him to be good in the Mercedes, but like compared to Lewis, he's knocking it out of the park, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, because bear in mind, yes, Lewis was faster than George in Bahrain, but only by 1 place, and probably not, a couple of seconds? You know, and that's Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion. So I think George Russell has more than proved to himself so far, definitely, that he's a good driver in a Mercedes, especially since Mercedes are awful. But he's held his own against Lewis as a teammate, and he has either performed at the same level in Bahrain and performed above in Saudi Arabia.
Although I don't think was there much battling for George today, because I don't think he really went up against anyone today. He was kind of just on his own, like that weird mark you get, like the top 4, and then like the 5th person's usually on their own, and then like the rest of the grids all together.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the timings now. Perez was 10 seconds behind Max. George was 32 seconds behind Max, and Esteban Ocon, who's in 6th, was 56 seconds. So he was basically in his own little world.
Like the whole race, like I didn't hear or see anything of him in the whole race. Like
he was just comfy. Yeah? He was like
having a Sunday drive,
having a good time. Can we also fix the graphics, please?
Oh my god, please fix the graphics, please.
Please.
This is my D. My D for every race is the drama. It's the graphics. I need them to fix them. I need them to fix the graphics. I was like watching practice on my phone while I was at work, and I literally, with my contacts in, I was literally having to squint at my screen that was like less than a foot away from me because I could not read any of the graphics.
I think my personal highlight so far has been in Bahrain when Magnussen was fighting Magnussen.
Oh yeah.
Today was really good. I don't know if you noticed today, there was, I think when it was the final lap came up, and they hadn't adjusted the graphics, and so the word "final lap" was just like
went in the middle of.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. I was like, "What is going on?"
Over the top of everyone's name, so you couldn't see what was going on.
That bit in Bahrain where the leaderboard just like disappeared for 10 laps. That was really high.
When they get rid of the timings. Today they did this. They'll get rid of the timings and they'll replace it with like the driver number. I don't care.
Yeah, I know what their numbers are. Please just give me the timing.
Why do I care that Lando Norris is number 4? I want to know where he is.
Is he P4 or is he just number 4? I need to know.
That as well. That's so confusing when they have, because my dad was saying that. I think at one point he was like, "Oh my god, Lando's 4," and I was like, "No, Dad, Lando isn't 4. That's his driver number." Like, oh my god, how did Hamilton get into P44?
Bottas is over here in P77.
Oh my god.
It's so badly done. Like the graphics are. There's potential, but they're so hard to see, and especially like the tires as well. The little H's, the little S's are so small.
Yeah, and then like the sector bars in like qualifying, I can't even tell if they've gone purple, yellow, green, whatever. I can't see that bar because it's so thin.
It's thin, and I'm blind. It's impossible for me.
No, honestly, I feel for you because I don't even have glasses or anything, and I can't bloody see that. Like, I think I have decent eyesight. I feel bad for people who have anything worse than me because, like, God bless, like. I can barely see the screen as is. Do you know what? As someone who works in television production, well, I go to college for, and actually learns to put all those like graphics on screen, I think I have the right to complain about this type of thing because I know how to do it myself. And can I just say, like, F1, if you're listening, like Sky, you know, if you need someone to sort your graphics out, hire me because I'll do a better job than whoever's working for you right now.
I stand by this. Toff
I agree.
Is really good.
Please hire Toffee.
I'll put my CV in. Don't worry, loves. Already got it.
This is an
We're gonna
open
have to promote
invitation.
this episode so you can get the job.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sponsored by F1 next week. Watch.
Please hire Toff.
This DRS episode is brought to you by Sky Sports F1.
Workday, a system for HR and planning.
I was going to say, do you want to move on to the next letter then?
Yeah, I feel like we need to talk about the results in Bahrain because I need to talk about my horse boys. I need to talk.
Go for it.
Talk about your horse boys.
I need to talk about them. I am so proud of both of them. I'm so proud of them. Charles especially. Love a little 3-time Grand Prix winner. Love it. Love to see him doing well.
He deserves it so much. They both do. Carlos deserves a win.
Oh, I want Carlos. I want to see Carlos win so bad. So bad. I want to see him on pole. I want to see him win. I want everybody to get out of Carlos's way because he also deserves it.
I feel pretty confident at this point he will win a race at some point this year.
Oh, definitely.
I'm hoping so.
And I love that. I cannot be mad about this Ferrari dominance. Because even though I know they are going to, at this rate, get both of them on a podium for every single race unless something happens, I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, no.
I'm on the Ferrari hype train. I'm on board. I'm tooting the horn, man. I'm on the Ferrari hype train all the way.
Although, if it's like this between Max and Charles every race, I don't think my heart can take that. Like, that drama, just them constantly going back and forth, but I'm like, oh my god, no. Like,
Do you
it's
think
like
they're gonna be playing that incident clip before every single race?
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so. I was like, it's only the second race of the season. Calm down.
Like, this is the rivalry. Chill out.
This has been going on for decades. Like, oh, these lifelong rivals, and it's like
back to their karting days.
They're about 12. Calm down. Like.
Should we do the S's?
Yeah. I think my S for this week is just the safety cars in general.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and oh no, Seb is sick. Nobody likes that.
Yeah,
Seb.
Get well soon, Seb.
Yeah, we want Seb back. Honestly, you know what? I think everything has been terrible because Seb has not been there.
Yep.
If Seb was there wouldn't be a race.
Oh, probably.
That I agree. I mean, but last week was bad too, and like Seb wasn't there, so like
Seb is just a good luck charm, clearly.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Watch now. Seb comes back in Australia and Aston Martin are on the podium. I'm joking. In case anyone thinks I'm taking that seriously, I'm not.
I want them on the podium. I want Seb on the podium. I
know what my S is going to be, by the way. So my S is Sergio Perez.
Yay!
Yay! First pole.
I'm so happy for him.
I'm happy. I'm kind of sad that it ended how it did. You know, fourth is good.
Yeah.
But he kind of got screwed over by everything, by the safety car. But, like, oh man, I'm just so happy he got a pole. Like, what a lap. What an incredible lap. Good old Sergio Perez. I wish that he'd done better. He really did deserve to do better in that race. But at the end of the day, that's how Formula 1 is. And if a safety car happens, then, you know, if your pit strategy's messed up, then that's what happens.
Yeah.
But that's my S, is Sergio Perez. Checo!
Super Checo. I'm just gonna add to it that I was like a proud mom when I suddenly saw the purple on his qualifying score, and I was like, oh my god, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna make it? And then when I saw the time, I was like, oh my god, he is gonna make it, and his first pole, and I screamed like a child to the TV.
Yeah, honest God, I didn't even know it was his. I thought he would have gotten pole before. Like, I didn't realize it was his very first pole in F1. I was shocked. Like, in a good way.
He hasn't really had the car with the potential to do it until Red Bull.
But yeah, but like, even who was it? Lance Stroll had gotten pole before in, what was it?
True, but that was a fluke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I just thought he had it by then. Like, I don't know, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was about to say the same thing. It's crazy that Lance Stroll had got pole. And again, I don't want to put Lance Stroll down because he is a very talented driver. But I was surprised that he had got Stroll. She got Stroll?
You haven't Stroll.
I've just been Stroll. I was surprised that Lance Stroll got pole. That's quite hard to say.
That's like
a tongue twister.
I can't even say she sells seashells by the seashore. I can't even say that.
Lance Stroll got pole. Lance Stroll pole.
The new tongue twister.
Lance Stroll got pole. Lance Stroll got pole. Lance Stroll got pole. Lance Stroll got pole. Well, new game. That's going to be my new vocal warm-up for when I'm about to do the podcast. I'll be like, right, everyone. A Lance Stroll got pole, Lance Stroll got pole.
Go up in an octave each time, you know?
Lance Stroll got pole, Lance Stroll got pole.
You go, Orla.
I get my S now. I was like, stress. No, I suppose my S would be, I would say just safety in general, not so much safety car, but just with the whole thing with Mick crashing and then also the cars going on fire in Bahrain and all this stuff. Like, we need to work out some stuff because if this keeps going on, Formula One's going to become dangerous again, and we don't want that because we're just taking steps backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
completely agree.
There's a lot to work out safety-wise. I think Jeddah as a track is just a safety nightmare, and they need to...
Please do not go back to Jeddah. Oh my god. There's so many reasons why they shouldn't go back to Jeddah. Safety, like you said, is the primary reason, both on the track and off the track. It's not safe to be driving in Saudi Arabia at the moment. And as I think it was Max Verstappen said about Russia, they should not be driving in a country that's at war. At the end of the day, it is at war, even though it's rebels, but they're still at war. And the safety of the track as well it's not a safe track. No, it's not a safe track.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally have issues with them even racing in a country where half the population couldn't even get their driver's license until recently. So it's like, I think for me, that's another reason why they shouldn't be in Saudi Arabia, but that has nothing to do with just safety of them as individuals being there.
Yeah.
I agree that there's issues with a lot of the places they go to, that the human rights, you know, it's not okay. And what's not okay as well is this attitude that seems to have come out of somewhere that we're bringing awareness to these issues. What, by bringing people and tourism to these countries and encouraging people to travel and learn about these countries is not doing anything to help the human rights issues in these countries at all. I'm not very articulate. I'm not being as articulate as I'd like to be because it is 10:30 in the evening. But I have a lot of thoughts that I do not currently feel qualified to say. But there's a lot of issues to do with human rights. And, you know, as a woman, as a queer woman, knowing full well that both of those things are often problems in some of these countries, it's worrying. It's definitely worrying. But clearly there's a lot of issues here that need to be resolved.
Yeah, I hope they can resolve them and maybe take a look at like what happened this year and apply that going forward.
Yeah.
But will they?
Probably not.
I think everyone needs to take a look at their morals and what they stand for and all the different things and what
Cash is king.
Yeah, cash is king. But then again, with safety as well, I said also the cars. It said Pierre's engine or whatever it was going on fire. Not a good sign.
I'm so glad that he got out of that and was like immediately joking about it.
Yeah.
It is kind of scary. It's scary to see cars on fire like that.
Yeah.
And on the first race as well.
Well, it was the same in testing with Mickey, with Latifi.
Yeah.
To see his car go up in flames like that, it's quite scary. Like, but they're so chill about it. But it's like,
we were like,
scary.
whatever. Like, we're over here like, oh my god. Actually, sorry, speaking of safety, I know it technically hasn't happened yet, but didn't they change something in Spa recently and they added like sausage curbs to Eau Rouge?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Sausage curbs.
Did they get the Jeddah planners in there or something? Because, like, what?
The thing that confuses me is they've done that in a bid to make it safer. They could at least not.
That's not going to fix it.
Yeah. I was going to say, did you not learn anything about sausage curbs and, like, Monza and stuff? I
thought they were getting rid of sausage curbs. Like, I thought that as a whole, they'd agreed that sausage curbs just were not necessary as a deterrent. Like, there's just no reason to put sausage curbs in. And I thought they were slowly getting rid of them. But no, apparently one of the most dangerous areas, I don't know, it just seems very silly to put a sausage curb there. Because who's that area as well where they put it, who is going over the curb there? Like, why do you, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just odd. It's only going to cause problems.
Well, you never know. We might not get into a race in Spa again this year. We might end up sitting there for 4 hours.
Hang on. I need silence for this moment. I need to say something really important.
Okay.
Can I change my S to Sebastian Vettel's hair?
Yes, you can.
Go on, Kim.
Because I know that he's sick and he's got COVID, so technically he hasn't made an appearance. But since I last did a podcast, something incredible has happened. and Sebastian Vettel has had just the biggest glow up in terms of hair, and I just want to appreciate it. That's it. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say.
His hair is so good. I can't wait to have him back in the paddock so we can just see it in all of its glory.
He'd be like, you know that scene in Trek when like Prince Charming takes his helmet off and his hair's like in the wind? That's Seb. He takes his helmet off after getting out of the car. He's like, whew, all the wind coming.
I'd love to see that. If anyone has any suggestions for what we can use for the letter S, then let us know. Tweet us. Instagram us. Mm-hmm. Is that the word? Instagram us?
Yeah. We'll put up a poll on Instagram and people can drop your little suggestions and we'll talk about them. Or comment on one of our TikToks. It'll make it here, I promise.
Definitely comment on our TikToks because I if I don't want to blow my own horn or anything, but there's some good TikToks on there.
There's some good
self-promo. We're sponsored by ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Sponsored by TikTok and Workday, a system for finance,
HR and planning. We're actually Aston Martin, guys. We are Aston Martin. We are sponsored by TikTok.
No, this is
I Am Live. That's us.
This is all just part of my plan to get the Workday lady back.
Yeah, we're gonna get her on this podcast and be like, so why did you
get the Workday lady on this podcast? Can we talk about dream podiums for a second? Yes. I've got a few for this season that I really want to see. One of them being
realistic or just
any. It doesn't have to be realistic.
Okay.
Because the first one I'm going to go for is George, Lando, and Alex.
Twitch quartet.
Excellent.
Trio.
Excellent.
I just because I love them and I think that would be a great podium to see. I also want a Latifi podium. I want a Stroll podium. I want a Piastri podium, okay?
You're like, Daniel, get out. Just, not even Daniel, sorry. Just what's the Alpine? Or
Alpine or McLaren?
Or McLaren, okay. Daniel,
Alpine or McLaren, either of those.
Lando can take it, because Daniel already got COVID this year, so...
That is fair. Any of them, I want a Piastri podium. Seb, obviously. I want a Seb and Mick.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes. Cry. I want
them to bring back Germany and have Seb and Mick on the podium in Germany.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, shut up.
And you know what? To make it even better, Lance could be sick that week and Hulk could sub in for Lance.
Yes.
Oh
please.
My god.
Seb, Mick, and Hulk.
I'd love that.
I would love that. I was going to say, before you said about the German thing, I was going to say Seb, Mick, and Esteban. Or Mick, Esteban, and Lance, because they're buddies.
Yeah, the besties.
Yeah, that would work too. I personally want a Lando Danny. Lando Danny, and then maybe Max podium.
That would be good.
But a McLaren 1-2 with Lando 1, Danny 2nd.
No, I love the idea of it being a Lando. I was about to say Danny as well then. I like the idea of it being a Danny, Lando, and then Max, because then you've got Maxiel as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was in sync.
That would be so good. That would be a great buddies. I really like that lineup. And also any podium with Danny on, that they're all going to be drinking out of a shoe. So that's always who do I want to be drinking out of a shoe the most?
Get Bottas on the podium with Danny, and then have Stewie.
He'll never do it.
I want a Danny, Valtteri, Seb podium because Seb and Valtteri are both the ones who have ducked the shoeies, and so I want Danny on the podium with them to make them drink out of the shoe.
Seb will never drink out of a shoe.
I want to see Danny try, though. I want to see him try.
You have to force it down him.
Pierre and Charles on the podium together. But I love Pierre, Charles, and Yuki on the podium because that's just Pierre's bestie.
That'd be so cute.
Just think about all these cute podiums, and realistically, it's probably just going to be Ferrari 1-2 and a Red Bull every week. The occasional Mercedes.
You know what podium would also be really cute? Nikki, Alex, and Mick. That'd be so cute.
That's just a wholesome trio.
Nobody would be mad about it.
But also, Nikki, Alex, and George.
Yeah.
They're all buddies as well.
Oh, the little Williams crew.
Did you see that video of George going back in the Williams?
Yeah.
saying hi to everyone. So cute.
George is bound to win a race, and I'm on board with that. I want him to win.
Same. I really do.
I
Especially
like
because
George.
it's not even got that good of a car, so it's not even like he's going to smash it. Like, it would mean something if he wins.
Yeah. Like, he would for sure cry on the podium, and I'm on board with
He
that.
cried when he got like 1 point. Like,
Man full on sobbed when he won the point. Like,
Max,
come on.
did you see that clip of Max and Daniel in the background just taking the piss?
Oh, I love that. You guys call him a robot, but man cried when he got 1 point. Come on.
His system
He
had a
just
failure.
cares so much.
It's
He
getting
cared so much about Williams. He really did. Anyway, Magnussen on the podium.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine Haas one too.
Haas won too.
That's-
Gunther
would-
would get locked. Like, he would literally be on the podium, give me any sort of alcohol right now. Like, this is unreal.
Do shots
He would be
on the podium.
so happy, and I would be living for it.
Oh, I'd love that.
I would be as happy as him.
One final thing, just because I'm thinking about weird things that these drivers do, I just recommend anyone who has a Strava account follow Valtteri Bottas on Strava. It brings me so much joy when he just like goes for a little bike ride and like takes photos of him like posing. It makes me so happy. Like, he went for a bike ride around the track and then was posting all these photos of him on his bike around the track, and if anyone has a Strava account, just follow Valtteri Bottas.
He's so sweet. He deserves us all the good things.
Get him on a podium in Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. We call it a day.
Yeah, let's call it a day.
I think we should call it a day. I'm just going to grab my phone, guys.
Day done, done day.
I'm calling it a day. Hello? Hi, is that a day?
Call it a day.
Yes, this is a day. Let's call it.
I'm calling it a day. Bye.
Sorry.
We should probably say something like thanks for listening and all that.
Oh yeah, thanks for listening and all that. Bye.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
cheers,
listening. Follow us on social media. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, if you want to listen to more of our podcast, you can check us out, Drag Reduction Sisters, on Spotify. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Just
YouTube.
search for us. Give us a search. Give us a follow. We really appreciate it.
Watch us on YouTube if you're not available on Spotify. Let us know your thoughts on races as well, because you might be featured in another podcast episode.
Yes, give us your feedback. Give us some reviews. Tell us how great we are. Thank you for listening to our podcast, sponsored by Workday. Assistant Raychel.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to hear more, please check out our Spotify account. Please press 1. What was it? Unexpected item in the bagging area.